We have been honored over the past 32 years to have the Roger Maris Museum here at West Acres, and we hold the security of Rogers memorabilia near and dear to our hearts. True to Rogers' wishes, the museum is visible, accessible, and free, and it speaks to the great amount of respect that people have for Roger Maris that this is the first security incident we have had in 32 years. West Acres is secured overnight, and the museum is alarmed. The alarm did go off. Our overnight security was on scene within 2 minutes, but the perpetrator had already fled. We do have security footage of the incident, both inside and out, and have already provided it to Fargo Police. We have conducted an inventory of the museum pieces, and at this time it appears that only one item was stolen. That item is the S. Ray Hickok belt, which was given to Roger Maris in 1961 as the Professional Athlete of the Year. The majority of the items in the museum, including the Hickok belt, are owned by and on loan from the Maris family. We have been in touch with a member of the Maris family this morning to inform them of the situation, and we'll continue to be in touch with them today and in the days to come. We feel violated this morning, and I'm sure many others in the community do as well, that something was stolen from Fargo's favorite son, Roger Maris. We are deeply disturbed by this disgraceful event and are working hand in hand with Fargo Police Department to make sure the perpetrators are brought to justice. So now I'll ask Deputy Chief Joe Anderson to join me and we'll take your questions.
Obviously this is still an open and ongoing investigation, so I know many of you understand that there's going to be specific questions that you want to ask that my standard response will be that I won't be able to answer that question. However, we will do our best to try to answer those questions at this time. So I'll just go over a real quick rundown. I know Chris just kind of already gave you just kind of a rundown of what happened, but at about 2:48 this morning, Fargo Dispatch received a report of an alarm, a burglary alarm, at West Acres. Our officers responded. And as Chris already touched on, the suspect was already, suspects were already gone at that time. Our officers worked closely with security to try to determine the mode of entry as well as what was taken. Obviously in this case is pretty self-explanatory of the mode of entry. They broke through exterior glass door and they exited through that same door. Obviously we have video footage. We are reviewing that video footage, and Sergeant Nessler and his investigative team will determine when it's appropriate to release that video to the public and to the media. So with that, I'll turn over any questions that you may have to Chris or myself about the investigation or how we proceed from here. We, the best of our knowledge, we have a single male. The ethnicity is unknown at this point. The reason why I say that is the male was dressed in dark clothing, basically from head to toe. So we'll have to review the video and see if there's anything that we can discern from the video to try to identify height, weight. It's pretty generic at this point. The only thing I can tell you that it appeared to be a male.
The outside video, that does show a vehicle. Do you have a description of the vehicle?
We have a description of the vehicle. However, being it's night at this point, we're reluctant to tell you what type or what color of vehicle it is because there's some question on whether or not we have the right color. So we could release that it's a certain color and later find out if that's the wrong color. So at this point, we're not releasing, but we do have an idea of what the car looked like. It would appear that from the video footage that the male got out of the passenger side, so I could assume that there was more than one person involved. However, that doesn't mean that he didn't scoot over. All options are on the table at this point, so we're still looking into that.
The indication was from the early glimpse of the video show that the person that broke in made a beeline to this area, so there's still a belief that this guy must have known what he was after. Something, there's some items within the museum display case itself.
Possibly, yeah. Obviously, we don't know the motive behind the theft or the burglary. However, that'd be an easy conclusion to come to that was, obviously someone had cased the area before, and we'll be looking into video. However, Chris knows more than I do how many people patron this facility on any given day and stop at that museum and look. So that might not be very beneficial for us to review that video. But clearly, it would. I mean, if they had an idea of what they wanted, they probably knew ahead of time of what they were coming to get.
This is one of a kind memorabilia here, and is anybody, I don't know if it's possible to give the value, a dollar value on it, would you not think like this, not qualified for you?
We really haven't. With value, it's subjective, as you know, especially with historical memorabilia. We obviously consider everything in this case to be priceless. As far as what the market would bear for the item, I can't tell you at this point. I believe it's a leather belt with a, let's see, maybe I even have that in my notes here. It was made by the Hickok Manufacturing Company, which manufactured belts out of Rochester, New York. So it's, I believe, a large leather belt with a gold medallion, probably some inset gems, it's, yeah, that's all I have for that.
Like one of those all-star wrestling.
Kind of, yeah. It kind of looks like a boxing belt or a wrestling belt. Yeah, right.
What's the name of the company again? I made it.
Hickok, Hickok. It's known as the S. Ray, R-A-E, Hickok Professional Athlete of the Year, and it was a.
Initial rating?
Correct. Yes.
R-A-E.
R-A-E. Right. 2 words. The initial S. Period. R-A-E. Ray. Hickok. Hickok.
And what year did you receive this?
1961.
And that used to go, I don't know if it still does.
It used to go to the Professional Athlete of the Year.
In the United States.
Yes.
You mentioned this briefly about kind of feeling violated. One of my cohorts at A&E said today about just like Sidney Crosby's jersey being stolen out of Pittsburgh, and I would say that people in Fargo it is. I mean, it's that offensive. I mean, can you comment more about that?
Yeah, I mean, just what you said. It's an offense. Roger Maris is one of Fargo's greatest sons and one of our heroes. His family has generously loaned all of these priceless items to the museum so that people can come and experience them and look at them and learn some of his history. And it's deeply disturbing. I mean, I'm appalled, and I imagine that I'm not the only one. I know all of us here are just disgusted by this, and I imagine the community will feel the same way.
The question was if we know what was used to break the glass, and at this point we don't. We'll have to, that'll be reviewed and see if we can't determine.
It's pretty heavy duty glass. Is it meant to be sort of unbreakable or really resistant, but it's tampering?
It's meant to be difficult to break. Obviously being in a mall setting here, people bump into it, and things come in contact with it. That's why, as Deputy Chief Anderson said, we don't know what was used at this point. Obviously, it was something heavy enough to break that glass. It is, as I said, it is alarmed. The alarm did go off, and our security responded. But unfortunately, it was such a quick incident that they arrived after the perpetrator had fled. Well, I mean, the mall itself is anywhere from 6.5 to 7 million a year. We don't keep count of specifically how many people stop and look at the museum, but we constantly get comments from customers about how much they enjoyed it. Maybe they have questions about some of the artifacts, things like that. So we get a pretty good sense that it's very much appreciated.
Will this result in any changes? Will you have a body here overnight for a while? Or any changes?
Yeah, we're constantly looking at how we can do things better with or without an incident. Obviously, when an incident occurs, that spurs us to very quickly see what we can maybe do better, whether it's a different type of glass or extra security procedures, maybe a body. We do have people here overnight, every night, 365 days a year, but they're not obviously always stationed in one spot. They're patrolling. So There was, I believe, probably an element of luck involved here as well with the timing. Very easily, somebody from our staff could have been down in this end when it happened too. So, as we kind of investigate more and learn more about it, we'll make the appropriate adjustments.
The discussion you had with the mayor's family, can you describe that at all?
I'm just a member of the family I spoke with this morning. He had actually already heard over the news this morning the report. I do plan to talk to Pat this afternoon. Want to make sure that we talk to her, and if she has anything that she wants to say, we'll definitely let you all know at that point.
It's too early to speculate, but I mean, obviously, the amount of time that they were in and out, it would lead us to believe that they knew what they were looking for. But like I said, the value of that item, I mean, to us, I mean, certainly it's priceless. But so as far as their motive and what they plan on doing with that item, will have to be determined through the course of the investigation.
So are pawn shops and things like that put on alert now that this item is taken so that if they ever try to sell it?
That is part of it. We do have a system in place that we can put alerts to the Fargo ponds. However, I mean, that's fairly limited. I mean, so you could try to sell this through other, means that, that may not be alerted from the police department.
That area of the display looks a little denuded right now. Was anything removed from there for safekeeping, or was that built kind of its own little occupier in that space?
No, we've removed several items. There were a couple other items that were damaged by the break-in, some broken glass in a frame, and some other minor damage to items. But we removed them and brought them into our office for safekeeping. Had our security team, our day security team, arrive on site as soon as possible. They've been protecting the area since early this morning, and then, as you probably noticed from arrival, we had the glass replaced as soon as possible this morning as well.
Is that what you call like the tempered glass? It's made of
Yes.
pieces so it doesn't have giant shards?
Yes, it is, yes. Oh gosh, I mean, we have hundreds of artifacts. Not everything we have is even on display at any given time. We rotate things in and out. We've got, I mean, we have not only what the mayor's family has loaned to us, but I constantly receive calls and emails with people looking to donate their own personal memorabilia from Roger Maris. So as far as an exact count, I don't have that for you. Anything else? Heaton, Heaton. I'm the property manager. Okay, thanks everybody.
Thank you.